Welcome, Ashley, Gavin,
Hey, hi.
and Gara, Lonning.
Hi.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
It's very exciting.
Robin, of course, is also here.
Hello.
We did not intend to have these two on this week, but yeah, they came in last minute when we realized this week's episode had been corrupted. We found out this news on Friday the 13th, which was yesterday, which is apparently, I heard, a good day for womb havers. Like anybody with a womb who's like tied to the moon, like it's a really nice magical day for us. And one of my friends sent it to me like earlier in the day. Do you remember Sarah Mendy Afkami, my friend who I had on this podcast? They told me something good is going to happen, and I was like, okay. But yeah, it's bad, but it's good. We're really excited.
Wow, you said womb havers, and I truly did not know who you're talking about. I was like, womb havers?
People with
Who
wombs.
Is that? I know.
Yeah,
that's what I.
Yeah, I
that's
thought
what
that was an
It's
interesting.
our day. Like magic shit's gonna happen.
Womb havers.
Yeah, and then magic shit did happen. And yeah, so I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm so excited to have you guys.
I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad to have you here. Back in season 2. We had Ashley on for an episode called We're Having Gay Sex, and it was before you had launched your podcast. And now...
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No. That's awesome.
Yeah, so now we are way post-launch, and you guys have been doing the podcast for a while now, and it's blown the fuck up. So congratulations about that. What? Stop it. Stop it.
I want more.
Ruining everything.
I'm never satisfied.
I understand.
Yeah, that's true. Ashley's a Scorpio, though, so...
And I feel that way with, like, all comics, is that we're never satisfied. But, like,
Right.
verifiably, you guys have, like, a great fan base. Gara has a fan page,
You
like,
know
none
Baby
other
Gara.
that I've seen. Yeah, Baby Gara.
I love Baby Gara. Baby Gara, if you're listening, I love you so much.
Baby Gara is definitely listening.
Oh, for sure. And I love them so much.
Yeah. But Ashley, basically, like, how has your life changed since launching the pod?
Oh my God, overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing comedy at the time for like 6 years, and not to toot my own horn, but like doing comedy well.
Yeah,
very
toot your own
funny.
horn.
Yeah.
And just like making no traction in the industry, basically. And then I started this podcast, and it, did practically what it felt like. It blew up overnight. I feel like it's been sort of steady growth, but it was just, I guess, right out the gate pretty big.
Yeah.
We're Having Gay Sex is the name of the podcast. It's a comedy podcast. You don't need to be gay to listen to it. We have lots of straight guests, all different types of people. It's a lot of fun. But that being said, it was, I mean, now, like, I'm just treated so differently, and it's great to be treated differently. But this is why it's so great. You get treated different by other comics. Other comics all of a sudden kissing your ass and being like, "Oh, you're so funny." It's
because
like,
you have
these
like
were the
a big TikTok following.
Yeah, I'm like, these are the same fucking jokes, you asshole. I've had this material forever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just.
But also, was it online? Because, like, I feel like before like a few years ago, like, none of us put our shit online. It was like, you don't do that unless you have a special. And then,
no, it wasn't really online at all.
Yeah, and TikTokers go crazy for live comedy videos. Seriously.
They really like them.
Insane. They love them.
Especially the crowd work. I think they really enjoy watching improvised moments.
owning idiots in the audience.
Yeah, those are the best I'll put online, because I'm never going to use that again. It's like, what am I going to do with that? Where else would it go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it has to go online where other people can enjoy the yell. They're good yells.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Also, people love to like hate Ashley on TikTok. Just like stupid, like 14-year-old boys just like end up in the comment section. No. I'm not saying she has like an army of people that love her, and then these just crazy like 14-year-old boys that are like, "Oh, this is funny. You think this is funny?" And it's so nuts.
They just don't. They don't like hearing a woman be strong, like
or a joke that just has nothing to do with them. Like, they're like, this is a universe that totally passes the Bechdel test all the time.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, that sucks.
They don't get it.
I don't understand that. I'm not the sun.
I don't see myself.
Yeah.
I've started speaking to my trolls, and I think a lot of them think that I hate men is what I hear in the conversations. They think I'm like contributing to this like kill all men agenda. And it's like, well, if you saw my other videos, I yell at women too. I yell at anyone being stupid at my comedy show.
Equal
if you talk during my comedy
yelling.
show. Yeah, exactly.
Non-binary people. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't need a gender for me to yell at you.
A pansexual yeller. A pan yeller.
Okay, and then so Gara came on because we had Ashley on solo, and it was, I think, before you had decided that Gara was going to be the youth in the booth.
Correct. This was so early. I thought I was going to have a rotating youth in the booth, and Gara was just too good to let go.
Though we went to go get pizza after one of our first recording sessions, and we sat down and ate pizza. And Ashley's like, so I think I'm going to do a rotating youth in the booth. I said, no, you won't. And she goes, are you being me right now? And I said, yeah, I'm trying to pull you. No, you won't. I'm the best you'll get. And she
this
goes,
is monogamy. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, wow, you're really pulling a me. So respect.
I love it. Can you explain to everybody who doesn't know what a youth in the booth is?
You want me to explain it?
Hell yeah.
I feel like you created it, though. That'd be like if Frankenstein's monster was explaining what a monster
Do it. Do it.
Me?
Yeah.
Look, the youth in the
this
booth.
This part of me comes from a man named Samuel.
I think the youth in the booth is more of an idea. It's more of kind of like a style. I don't really know what it is. People will message me sometimes and be like, "You're my favorite youth in the booth." I'm like, "There's more of me? Where are they?" Like, excuse me?
It has become a term for our younger fans. Like people get youth in the booth merch and I call them the youths in the booth. But basically the youth in the booth in concept was, I loved the idea of like old school shock jock radio with like the sound effects and how there was like a main guy and then there was like a sidekick.
Yeah,
and the
sidekick,
like,
you can't say that.
Yeah. The sidekick's like, oh, there you go again. There he goes again. And I thought, what if we like made a super snowflakey liberal, because it's a gay sex positive podcast, right? Like it's not going to sound like other radio, but I was like, what would like the liberal equivalent be? And I thought, a youth like who wants to keep you from getting canceled, like the sensitive youth in the sound booth, and that's where I came up with the idea.
And Andy Richter was already booked, so actually then went to me. Yeah,
it's just a sidekick.
Yeah, but although some people get mad that someone wrote a review and was like, why isn't Gara a host? Because I say sidekick in like the description. And it's like, you don't really understand what's going on here.
Yeah. Like Gara's still allowed to talk about as much as they want to.
Yes.
Wow. They're really thinking this is like a Yelp review system. They're like, I would like Gara to get promoted. It's like, that's not how it works.
So that's good. I'm glad that you stayed on because I think you're the best youth.
Thank you.
Top-notch youth.
A top-notch youth. How youth are you? How young?
Like, I think like 1,000, like 1,200 months. So really, yeah.
Just a tiny little baby.
Yeah.
Okay. So like you're in a different generation of us. Has it been hard to manage Ashley? Like how many times an episode do you have to call her out for something that's like inappropriate?
You know, I think earlier on it was like, it wasn't like intense calling out. Like it was like fun to call Ashley out because it was fun banter on the podcast.
Yeah.
Now we don't do it a lot. You don't really mess up a lot ever.
Well, that's on learning, right?
Yeah,
I don't think it's on learning. I don't think it's on learning at all.
Is it on editing?
I think Gara has come to accept that. I think Gara's more afraid of getting canceled than I am. And so I think Gara has relaxed a little bit into the notion that that it's just, if it happens, it happens. That's what I think is happening here.
Wow. I also started getting paid at one point. So I was kind of like, okay, I really got to kind of keep myself in check. Really want to keep getting that crisp check at the end of the month. So the Venmo check. So yeah, that's mostly why.
But I think it is nicer to have somebody like in your corner keeping you in check than like it getting to the point that like you've recorded and then the fans get mad together and then they yell at you.
And we miss things too. We have been yelled at, not seriously, but like I think sometimes when we post our clips online, maybe they're taken out of context, and someone will be like, "Oh, that's fucked up," and I'll be like, "Okay, well, go listen to the episode and see if you still feel that way afterwards." You know?
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times people are watching the beginnings of your clips and kind of then going to fight in the comments.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot.
Also, like, I think, Ashley, you just have like angry woman at Pinkberry face, you know? Like,
Thank you
I
so
think
much.
like when people are scrolling through, they kind of like expect like, oh, this fucking girl's gonna go off and like say something fucked up, and then you don't. Like, they really think you're kind of like
They don't
getting
wait for
caught
the
on
punchline.
camera. Yeah,
I know what I
yeah.
type into. I know myself.
Funny lady cop.
Funny lady cop.
I know that you have a younger audience than you intended to, kind of, because
A little bit.
right? Because you started putting stuff on.
It's like
TikTok?
60%. Yeah, it's like 60% under 28. Or maybe more, maybe like 70%. It's like 10% is under 17, which is just wild. That's wild.
Yeah. Like, okay, so does that ever feel weird when like really young ones, because like we're talking about gay sex, like on this podcast, we're talking about a lot of like, on your podcast, we're talking about every type of sex. So people are going to write in, especially young people who are like learning how to have sex.
Yeah.
And like, we love that and we want them to learn, but like, does that ever get like confusing with you guys?
I don't think about it when we record because it's sort of like if a parent brings their kids to a comedy show, that's your fucking fault. If you're not monitoring your children, that is not my fault. But I guess the way I've internalized it is I'd rather kids know about gay sex and feel like they have role models and friends and something to tap into than feel stuck in the closet and sad. So that's
Yeah, I mean, I get messages all the time from people, I think, under the age of 18, just being like, I was able to come out as non-binary because of you. And I just think it's good to have a podcast like this and be able to talk about these things openly, because if I would have listened to this when I was in high school, I'd have been like, wow, this is really clearing some stuff up for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the journey would have been a little shorter.
Yeah, maybe like 17 instead of like 20. I don't know. Maybe a little less trauma.
Yeah.
Maybe some more comfort too. Like maybe even if you don't come out or figure it out, maybe it just won't feel as daunting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think we talk about that.
Yeah. I also just wish that like I knew more people liked Rocky Horror as much as I did. You know, like I feel like I was so closeted about that, and then it turns out like everybody does. Like who's a little bit queer.
Right.
You guys explore everything like across the spectrum, and we had our little coming out day forum, and I know you both told me your coming out day stories.
I would love to relive that trauma.
No,
again.
I'm not going to make you do that again because you guys can get that on patreon.com/howcome. But on that, we mentioned that Gara had 2 coming outs with sexuality and gender, which we know are not the same thing. So when you came out...
what? Sorry.
No, Ashley, you can't tell her that. She doesn't know. You're like, oh my God.
I've been protecting her. Did you have any non-binary like icons that you looked up to growing
Big
up?
Bird.
Yeah. No, I just really loved Big Bird. I did really love Big Bird.
Great eyeshadow, nice tights.
Truly. I honestly I never heard the word non-binary, I think, until about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't know. But as far as like being androgynous goes, I think I was always pretty androgynous. And like, you know, looked up to like I don't know, just like weird. I was into musicals, so I feel like musicals was kind of like my gateway, because you had like men who were like, I'm a manly man, that's me. And I'm like, I want to be that guy, the guy singing. So I feel like that was kind of a gateway.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people must have been so relieved when they first saw a non-binary person in the media.
Definitely. I think though, like, we're kind of approaching this point in the media where like this is a weird topic, but where you know, what's cool in being androgynous is being white and thin. Like that's another hard part is like people of color and like have kind of, I mean, they did it first. Like other cultures did it first, and also like it's just been totally like whitewashed. And so we're just approaching that like where Harry Styles is like on Vogue wearing a dress, and it's like, yes, this is awesome. But also we always do this. We always like hold white people, especially thin white people, at this like high like pedestal, being like, isn't this so cool? And then like, you know, like black trans woman does it and people are like, ugh, I hate that. Killer. So I don't know. Yeah.
No, and then like Native Americans in this country have been doing it forever. And then some people, like some white people, will be like, will use Native Americans to justify to be like, it's been around forever, but then it's still not elevating
exactly
that part of the conversation in the history.
Right. But you are right. It like seeing non-binary people like in the media and just trans people in general, I think I don't even think the media realizes how impactful that is to see like one trans character, like to see the poorly written trans character on the L Word. Like, even though it was such a poorly written trans man, it still is literally like, oh, so bad.
the go-to, like, don't.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, and I'm not excusing that, but I'm just saying that, like, no, there's so little.
See that, right, exactly. Yeah. It's like something that you can identify with.
Right.
We do like a lot of polls on our Instagram, and we were talking about like the slang term for non-binary, or like saying like, what do you prefer to be called? And because that is such a new conversation, like somebody wrote me and was like, NBs, and I was like, okay, so I wrote NBs, and then somebody wrote in saying, you don't say that.
That was my fault. That was me.
Oh, why?
I wrote NB for non-binary, and it means like it's
non-black.
Non-black. But also that's like hard because like searching stuff up about that, there's also very little information on the internet
because it's so new. So the conversation has to be, what do non-binary people like to be called?
Right. Exactly. And some people still are seen by just the letters N and B, and I don't know. It's a weird conversation. Some people
suggested ENBY. And
NB. Okay. Yeah, NB is like, I feel like a little like cartoon, like raccoon.
Right. Yeah, somebody
like a cartoon
said that too. They were like, no, it's like too cutesy and like infantilizing. And I was like, okay, it's cool. Weird. So like, what do we say? Like I'm just kind of like waiting because like I want to say the right thing, but I'm also like,
yeah, it's difficult for sure.
So we just wait until somebody tells you what to say, and until then, just say non-binary person.
Yeah, the non-binary overlords will make it so, and then everyone else,
there'll be a manifesto or something.
Right? Yeah,
yeah,
they'll write it. David Bowie up in heaven. He wasn't non-binary, but, maybe in heaven he's finally realized this about himself.
I feel like he said, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I feel like people will say
well, they wouldn't
kind
have
of
known what,
exactly.
what the term was.
You didn't have the vernacular. So maybe if he was alive right now, he would be like, hell yeah.
Yeah, my grandmother used to be like, there's a lot more gay people now. And I'd be like, no, there's just like a lot more people like who are allowed to say they're gay. Right. And like,
I love that idea though, that we would just like have like a J. Crew factory just kind of like pumping out gay people.
Yeah. There's more people like, without genders. Like they just made with no tag or anything.
Gay is selling great. We should make more gay.
Yeah.
Gay is selling great. If they had taught us in health class about not getting pregnant via gay sex.
Oh my God, that's
smart. Like the only thing they ever taught you about gay sex was like AIDS. But like if they had been like, ladies, if you don't want to get pregnant, let me teach you something.
Yeah.
This is Ashley Gavin's phone number.
Yeah. I wish also that going down on women, like when I grew up, wasn't made to seem so disgusting.
Yeah,
And I think
they
that's
really
something
did
that
make
you
it seem
guys
gross.
do on your podcasts where you make it sound like pretty appealing.
Oh, I love it so much.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm biased, but there are some lesbians who don't do it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is I don't think you're biased because there's a lot of guys who they say that they're straight. They say they're attracted to women and then they don't like eating puss.
Like
rude.
DJ Khaled.
Like DJ
rude.
Khaled. Exactly.
Yeah.
Does he say that? Is he like?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Pussy?
You don't remember that?
He said that
He,
he was the king and he would not go down on his wife because he's the king.
He like
wow, that
it.
is the most bitch ass thing I've ever heard in my entire. I cannot. I like. Okay, cancel me, Gara. That just sounds like something a woman would say. Like that
What?
I don't know what it is about that.
Wow, Remy's gonna cancel you instead.
Hear me out. But it's just like, come on, like what is? Suck it up. Like, don't be a little pussy ass bitch. Like, get down there. What are you doing?
First of all, do be a little pussy ass bitch because pussy is strong, amazing, and
yes. Blah blah blah.
tastes fantastic.
Yeah.
Not even the uncanceling. Like, I need this for my own brain. Like, I cannot be told anymore that like women are gross or weak. Like, because we're not. We're so great. Or womb havers. Womb havers.
How do you know I have a womb?
Womb raiders.
What the womb raiders? Yeah.
They go in with the black light, and they're like, there's a lot of stuff in here. I don't know.
Yeah, he said that, and then like a bunch of guys backed him up, and they were like, "Yeah, like eating pussy is for losers," and I think eating pussy makes you like a real catch.
I just can't imagine like a world where it's optional. Like it's just like seems like so.
It was so optional. Like anything that like you were taught if you were gonna hook up with guys is that they probably won't go down on you because they don't like it because it smells like fish.
Yeah, and I've never like smelled a vagina and didn't. Maybe I've just been fortunate to like never catch anyone. On a sick day because it can get sick. If it gets sick, it's gonna not smell great because it's 100%. Sick. But like I've never smelled one and thought this smells gross or like fish ever. That is like it does not smell like that.
And also, if there is any smell that's like it's not supposed to smell like a creme brulee. You know, like you're a human being, you know, like the way that like people's armpits smell like a little bit, but like you like them because of the pheromones.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Homebrew. That's your home brew. You brewed that morning.
Like I used to get so confused.
110
just,
degrees.
Like, smell my panties, and I'd be like, yeah, it's musky, but it's nice. Like, why would anybody dislike this?
Right. Right.
Have you ever done that? Had somebody go down on you that you were like, oh, they don't like this?
Gara, I've had.
Yeah, no, you go.
I've had. I dated. Yeah, one time, and it was like. This is how gay I am. It was like I continue to hold that information against her. Like the way she reacted, I was like, that's fucked up. Like she clearly.
Okay. Do we talk about them on the pod?
No, I won't talk about this on the pod.
Whoa, got it. But just on Remy's pod.
I mean, maybe one day in the very far future, far future, and like I can completely protect their identity because this was like a longer term relationship. But like they went down on me, and I could tell that like they did not like it. They like went into the bathroom and like brushed their teeth like immediately. Yeah. And like I get like if you want to brush your teeth, like you don't want to have the like go out into the world with like pussy on your mouth. Like that's totally fine with me. Like that makes sense. But like I was just like, this is very dramatic. And I have had many women down there, and like not one complaint, and if anything, compliments. And I was just like, and I know it's in good shape because I've been making sure it's in good shape for this moment.
Totally.
And like, I was just like, this is so, it was so fucked up, and I was so upset. I was like a little I was a youth in the booth snowflake, like triggered, very upset. And I feel like, oh God, I feel like in some ways, like straight women are so much stronger because you have to deal with that type of bullshit all the time in your lives. And like, you just like get used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like that had never happened to me. Oh yeah. Also, same person made a comment about the way my vagina looked. First time that had ever happened to me in my life. And I was like, are you?
Whoa.
Took me a long time to shake off that one. And I'm still self-conscious about it.
Whoa.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's wrong.
I know she's wrong. I know it's ridiculous, but it was like very. This is the only time that ever happened.
And you say that you keep your vagina very in shape. Does that mean tons of grooming? I am a. People have like mixed opinions about Summer's Eve because you can clean and should clean your vulva.
Forget how much you talk about this. You need a sponsorship. You can't just be talking about this with no sponsorship.
I know. I should really talk to them about it. I love to.
You talk about this too much.
I love Summer's Eve because you can clean your vulva.
Summer's Eve.
This is important information. You can clean your vulva. You shouldn't clean your vagina, the inside, like go inside of yourself. That will clean itself. But you can clean your vulva, like get the dead skin cells and stuff like that. That's what a lot of the smell is. Same thing with men, like dick cheese. That's like dead skin cells. And so you can clean it, and using regular soap can fuck up your pH. So that's why I use Summer's Eve. Wow, this really does sound like a...
And that's why I, Ashley Gavin, use Summer's Eve.
And I carry
Winter,
around...
spring, or fall. Summer's Eve.
I carry around a pocket-sized little wipe inside my wallet just in case.
Whoa,
I don't
it's
do
like
it
your
anymore.
condom.
It's like my condom.
Your condom. Whoa.
I don't know if I carry Summer's Eve, but I'm pretty sure I carry a Vagisil wipe.
Sure.
Nice.
Yeah, similar. Just in case. You got to keep it around. Yeah. Just like
just
that.
In case.
Man,
just in case you get like a little itchy. Like it's not even for like another person. I mean, like it should be. It's like so rude because like I'm in such a serious relationship. Like I don't care what my vagina is like for Ben, but like yeah, I'll do a wipe if it's itchy.
But I will say on another girl. Oh boy. Ooh, this is a lot. I have dated women who like to shower before I have sex with them, but like if I like the way that you smell, like get like don't shower, like work out, get smelly. Like I'm into it.
I get offended because like Ben won't go down on me if like if I haven't recently showered, not like just then or whatever, but like I don't like showering.
Who likes showering really?
People do. He loves it. He does it like 3 times a day.
I dated a guy.
Really
yeah, I dated a guy who had to shower after he shit and after he had sex.
Yep,
and
that's him.
Yeah,
you dated Ben.
I wish I dated Ben.
Ugh, you guys would be so cute together.
Wow, Ben, give me a call.
But I'll get like offended because I'm like, you should like want to go down on me after like a run. He's like nobody wants that, and I'm like I'm pretty sure there's people who want that.
We should talk about this. Gara. Why don't I talk about good old stinky vag on?
You've talked about this. You have talked about this.
Well, stinky vag, because I was more thinking you stirred it to the stink. I was more thinking about like hair maintenance because I've been doing a lot of different hair maintenance lately, and also like my perspective on hair maintenance has changed since like starting this podcast, and also following Gara, like because Gara I love, and I hope this does not sound creepy, but I love Gara's body hair situation.
Wow, thank you.
Like so
the
much.
Internet hates it. I will have like moms from Ohio. Yeah, I'll have moms from Ohio being like, oh, disgusting. And you know what? I know they mean it. I know they're not just being mean. I know this woman was like,
I hate body hair on anybody. Like if I see like a cis dude's armpit, like I am equally grossed out by Gara's armpit.
Oh, see, I like it. Like I think Ben's armpits and Gara's armpits are like my two most admirable armpits.
Oh my God, can I be like your little simp boy? Can I come live with you in Portland?
Of course.
Have like a tiny cupboard that I live in. I would love that.
Yeah, no, I unfortunately cannot ever achieve the armpits because I got mine lasered like a stupid bitch back in the day because I was like,
I was literally thinking, who has ever regretted lasering their armpit hair? And no one until today. Remy regretted it.
Yeah, I don't regret any lasering of the puss, but sometimes a little.
Does
sometimes
it stay away?
That's the thing is it's like patchy. All the lasering is patchy. So like there's still going to be maintenance and like, I don't know. I like it in the puss area because there's less razor burn, but I would love to be able to grow some nice Gara pits.
See, I wax, so I don't, and I haven't been waxing because of the pandemic. And while I appreciate the saving the money, I don't like it.
You miss that fresh pussy glow?
I do. I miss it. Thank you for quoting a joke of mine.
Did I just make you come?
I came. Yes.
That's literally how you make comics come, is you just quote their stand-up and then they fall in love with you.
Wait, you said that fresh pussy glow, and I was immediately taken back. I'm sitting in New York Comedy Club listening to Ashley scream.
Fresh pussy glow.
That's how it said. That fresh pussy glow.
I'm upset. Okay. People like the joke.
It's a good joke.
Okay.
Don't be upset. This is like audio fan art.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gara, I was saying to Ashley the other day, my favorite fan art of the two of you is Ashley being like an old fucking hag, and it's like, I'm gay and ancient, and then it's like you as a little baby, and it's like, I was born
with
2
a wine
days
glass.
Yeah.
With a glass of wine. I was like, damn, I'm gonna have to do some rethinking
on your brand.
Yeah, well, I was just like, wow, I did not know that people thought I drank so much. So yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think people think that. That is my favorite. I think their name is Trip, and they are super cool.
Super cool. Yeah.
I also love the
fans.
one that was like your face and then my face next to it, but mine just said ACAB below it.
Yes.
I don't remember what yours said, but mine said
Ash. Mine said Ash, as in my name.
So yours said your name, and mine just said ACAB, which was so much better than my name.
At the outset of We're Having Gay Sex, it was supposed to be this podcast about like you being single for the first time and like sowing your oats and being a slut because you'd been in like serious relationship after serious relationship. How long did it take you into We're Having Gay Sex to ruin that?
I began recording before I released them. So I had a full calendar year of oat sowing.
Okay.
And then yes. So it took a year really in terms of the episodes releasing.
But not a year on the podcast.
Not a year on the podcast. Mm-mm. It took maybe like 2 episodes on
Yeah.
It did not take long for me to meet
it was like,
Jen.
hey, I'm Ashley Gavin. I'm going to be a slut. Hi, I'm Ashley Gavin, and this is Jen.
Well, you know what's so cool is like people are really very kind about the relationship.
Yeah.
I didn't know how people would react. And I think it's kind of upsetting actually because I wish I would take it as a compliment if people were like, oh, fuck Jen. Nah.
Oh.
But
you're like, they don't think I'm hot enough to say fuck Jen.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this is great. I'm happy Ashley found someone. It's like, fuck you. I don't know. Like
no, they all are happy for you and want to be your third.
I could never. You've had a 3. I've never.
I would try another one.
If I saw Jen be attracted to another person, I would instantly have an anxiety attack.
Wow.
Yeah, it would be really hard for me because I think she is so out of my league. I think it would be frightening. I'd be like, no, I've like won the lottery here. Like no.
Yeah.
She could leave. She could do better. Certainly looks wise.
So what if Jen was like, I have a crush on Gara? How would you feel then?
I would laugh at that.
You'd be like, get out of my house. That's hilarious.
She joked the other day about some TikTok about threesomes. She joked the other day about, should we ask Sam or Gara? Sam Morrison or Gara to be in our threesome. And I was like, Sam Morrison.
Yeah, because then nobody will touch him.
I think that
Jen's bi.
Jen would touch him, and I think I'd rather be penetrated by Sam Morrison than even touch Gara.
Oh, what?
There it is.
So mean.
Though, like,
because I said something nice about you, Gara.
No, Gara's like a sibling to me, and even though Sam is also one of my best friends, I think I could just close my eyes and get it over with. With Gara, I would really feel violently ill.
Got it. So this is overkill right now. I was laughing and now I'm thinking
I would end up in the ICU and so you'd have to bump out some COVID patients and be like, this girl's on the edge. We got to get her in there. She had a sexual experience with Gara Lonning. She needs to be in here.
Though I will say, like, Ashley and I don't think we've ever touched. Like, anytime we even like brush past each other, we're both like, stop.
Yeah, no, when you guys record together, I don't worry about it. I'm like, they're in the same room, but they're not touching. It's fine. I've asked Ben kind of like, how does he feel dating a bi girl? And he's kind of like, it's chill. Like, that's kind of what you want. Like, bleh, not he didn't say that, but like, I feel like that is like the fantasy for a straight guy. How does it feel as a gay woman dating a bi girl?
Oh, yeah. Because I have dated straight women before, people who are primarily
closeted.
Straight. Yeah, I don't even want to speak on behalf of them or why they are the way that they are, but that sounded
straight
so rude.
Identifying that have sex with women.
Occasionally, some people really don't have that much sex with women. They just had sex with me or like maybe one other woman. So I truly don't know what this curse that I have is, but
masochism.
Yes, that's probably what it is. But so I've had some like rough experiences with feeling like I'm not enough for them or like whatever. So like it's something I've had to work on and I haven't been good at in the past. But with Jen, I don't worry about Jen's loyalty, which kind of takes the question like it's just not, it's out of the picture. You know what I mean? So I don't like really think about it. And when we talk about it, I don't get nervous because I know it would never happen.
Yeah.
But I still feel more jealousy with her like her male celebrity crushes than her female ones. Her female ones, I'm like, oh, interesting, or oh, weird. Timothée Chalamet, like if I saw him walking down the street, I'd probably deck him. I'd probably try and take him down. I think I look like
you guys have like a very similar vibe. Like,
tell that to Gara. Gara doesn't believe that. I feel
you
like
don't think that they look alike?
He could be my brother. Timothée Chalamet.
I don't think you guys look alike at
TikTok
all.
Where it's like, I think we could do it if we try. You'll be all willowy just like him and like look over your
All
shoulder.
I would have to do is grow a unibrow. If I grew a solid unibrow, people would be like, oh, you kind of look like Timothée Chalamet.
Why does Ashley look like Timothée Chalamet? I don't
do the same coloring.
The same bone structure, same coloring, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I do not see it at all.
I could do that face morph into Timothée Chalamet, I guarantee you. If I could figure out how to do the fucking face morph. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, I don't know how to do anything on there. Otherwise, I would own that app. Just kidding.
Yeah, man.
just kidding. If I wasn't depressed.
Yeah, you're like, that's why I don't go on it.
Oh my God. I like spiraled today because there's like a couple people using Instagram Reels really effectively, and it's like massively exploding their following. And I was like, weird, because like my TikTok videos get so many more views than theirs. And then I like posted some of my TikTok videos into the Reels, which is hard for me because my TikToks are usually longer. But I posted them in there and they just like get practically nothing. And I started spinning, thinking the only reason I do well on TikTok is because of gay people. And then I was like, no one likes you but gay people. And I started spiraling. So that's my
there's gay people on Instagram too, but I do think the TikTok algorithm, it funnels all the gay people into the same area.
Yeah,
which
I don't
makes
know.
it easier to find.
Yeah, and I think once you start popping off in gay TikTok, then you get shifted over. After enough views, you get shifted over to a broader audience, and they like my stuff too. But like, of course,
it's like how you have to like blow up in Canada first, and then we're like, okay, now we can introduce you to the U.S. market.
Yes, exactly. That's kind of how I'm handling it.
You know what you gotta do? You know what you gotta do, Ashley? Pinterest. That's where all the straights are. All of the straights from my hometown are all on Pinterest. So you start posting on Pinterest, you'll get the straights. You will.
I'll do it right now. I'll post a picture. I'll post a picture of
Cats
like a
on Pinterest will bridge the gap.
Yeah.
I'll post like a picture of a chunky wedge shoe with just my voiceover of me doing comedy.
Gara, do you have the same experience with the fans where they're happy about your relationship, or do you guys kind of not talk about it?
No, they are really happy about it, which is so funny because I feel like I had like a podcast before this, which wasn't very big, but like we had like a mini kind of fan base, and they didn't seem to love hearing about my relationship.
Right. Yeah.
Like they kind of would act like Jacob didn't exist, but the fans love Jacob. It's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Jacob non-binary as well, or
no? He's my cis daddy. He's
okay. Yeah.
Ew.
So that, I mean, I could see people getting not too thrilled about that, because I've seen people on TikTok, whenever like a bi person settles for a man, settles for a man, they don't like that.
Yeah, but that's what's crazy is I think the people who really love Jacob are like honestly the people who are kind of in the same boat I am, where either they're non-binary or they're bi or they're pan, and they do have a partner who's cis, like a cis straight man, and they're just kind of like, I want to see these relationships. Like, I think it's really empowering to me. Like a couple years ago, I saw what really empowered me in my relationship is I saw this like pretty mildly famous trans, I don't know if they were non-binary or not, trans person dating a cis man, and it validated me so much, because I was like, and they used to call themselves like a cutesy gay couple, and I was like, hell yeah, like that's me. That's what I want to be.
Yeah. No, and that's so and it's also like, it just, I think it even more validates sexualities that like lots of things when you like a cis man, because it's like, yeah, I'm clearly dating him for the person.
Right.
You know, like there's so much else against them that like if I didn't really like this person, I would pick someone else.
Yeah. And you know, I get worse flack from like acquaintances or people at bars than I do from fans or people online. People like at bars or like people I mildly know kind of feel like they can just like tell me that I'm actually a lesbian and not actually attracted to my boyfriend, which is like true. I am at the woods. I am making out with a hottie in the back. They're like, you're a lesbian. But at the same time,
you're like, yeah, but I'm straight too.
Right.
Like
well, yeah, it's just like
part of it.
Right. I moonlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. They never go after Jacob. They'll usually just go after me for not being like, do not use the word dyke. You are not a dyke. Like, that's what I mostly get.
And you guys are open.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. How were you open going into the relationship?
We were closed. I don't know why I said closed.
Okay.
I guess that makes sense. For 6 months. And then we broke up. And then kind of when we got back together, I was just like, I can't get back together unless we're open. And that was just a conversation that, well, I was just like, man, I want to be with you. This is kind of not trying to be an ultimatum, but was an ultimatum, and was just like, I don't want to pressure you. So I gave him like a lot of time to think about it. And he came back and he was like, yeah, this is what I want. Because that's another thing too, is like I get stuff from people being like, oh, you know, Jacob should be allowed to kind of like not have to be with you. I don't know. I get that too. Like a lot of judgment of people with my open relationship and me and how I identify.
Well, because they're like, why should he be attached to you if you have so much leniency? But like he also has the same amount.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of the name of the conversation that you guys had.
Right.
Is like,
exactly.
If we're going to do this, are you going to be okay with it? And if he had said no, then you wouldn't have done it. It's not like.
And we check in on each other all the time. Like, it's just kind of like an ongoing situation. We once took like a 12-hour drive to Colorado, and like we talked about it for 12 hours. Like, that's just what we do. We'll talk about it kind of like every other day. It's just a normal thing.
How long? It was like a 6-month breakup, right?
We broke up after 6 months, but we got back together after like a month.
Aw, because you were like, I just want to be with you.
I know. He lived like 7 blocks away from me, and we were like broken up, and I would just walk over to his house and end up sleeping over, and then we'd just be like, still broken up though. And then we just got back together.
So cute. Yeah, Ashley, you could never be open, right?
No.
Yeah.
I've like, I think is if there are, the closest thing that I've had to that is I was sort of like dating this girl, but like not like she wasn't my girlfriend, and she knew that I was sleeping with other people, and I knew she was sleeping with other people, but we saw each other very regularly. And that's the closest I've ever been to. I don't think that I don't know what she wanted, but I don't think either one of us wanted to be in a relationship. I made it very clear. I was like, I'm like seeing a lot of people, and that's like what I want to do, and I just got out of something. I think she'd also just gotten out of something. So
yeah, but I think open relationships for people who like it works for, or honestly, like there can be people that think they're super monogamous too, and then there's a partner that just works for them that they are like, oh, open with you is like something that like I never could have imagined with anybody else. So
totally.
Yeah, I think just having those conversations over and over and just like making sure everyone's good.
Yeah, I think it's also hard because I don't think I had a lot of examples growing up of anything like not monogamous. Like I grew up in a very small town in Iowa, and even doing this now, like not being monogamous, I'm like, you know, will I always be this way? Like, is this just something that I kind of always want? And I mean, that will change over time, but I do think I'm just someone who just monogamy is just, it's just not for me.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And I think we're learning that that's fine more. I did like, even I was like super not super, but like I had this like tinge of judgment with open couples because I'm like, oh, they must not be, you know, fulfilling everything for each other. Or like this must not be as valid of a relationship because it's not what we are seeing as like rom-com relationship. It's not like they got together and then their third arrived, or like, you know what I mean? Like you just don't see that.
Yeah. I think also just open relationships, I think just get such a bad rap. I don't know why I get so much judgment for it. Out of everything in my life that I get judgment for it, the open relationship is the most. I will get it from randos. I'll get it from my family. I'll get it from siblings and friends. And I just like, one, I just don't think it's anybody's business. And two, I've been in horrible monogamous relationships. Horrible. No one like from the outside, everyone was probably like, this looks so, look at them. Like they're so beautiful. But meanwhile, on the inside, it was bad. So like to be in one that's healthy and like good, and you know, maybe it won't work out, but the thing is I think if it wouldn't work out, everyone would be like, it's because it was open, which sucks. Like
they say, I mean, my understanding, I obviously am not in one, but they say like the time to have an open relationship is when your relationship is the healthiest it's ever been. That's the time to talk about it. And I don't know how many people are actually, because relationships are fucking hard. And so everything about relationships can be hard. So I don't know how many people actually implement that rule. But like, if it's working, I think it implies that the relationship is healthy.
Solid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say that the people who are hating on it the most are in unhappy relationships themselves. And what they're saying with their judgment is, we'd all fucking do that if we could.
Right.
Like they're just like jealous and pissed. Like, I don't know. It reminds me of like when I was like younger and I was like, bisexuals are just selfish. And I'm like, if you think that, it's because you want everyone also. You know what I mean? Like you're just mad because you agree.
Yeah.
I've never understood that perspective that bisexuals are selfish. I just, or like,
they just want the attention from everyone.
Or attention, or like,
and yeah, I do, because I'm attracted to everyone.
Right.
Yeah. And I want all the attention, but I cannot have sex with men. I cannot do it.
Would you feel very uncomfortable if you had like, okay, say like tomorrow you get promoted to straight TikTok and like all these boys just start falling in love with you? Would you be so uncomfortable?
So I've been hit on. When I just did this troll cast with this guy Daniel, I was like, I made sure to look really cute.
Okay, great.
Because
I
want to disarm them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
actually a really good idea.
Whenever I would go on like those right wing podcasts, you know what those shows, I'd be like, tits up.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
You want to look hot, because they're certainly not expecting it, especially from me. But I don't know how. I've had men flirt with me, and usually it takes me like a very long time to figure out that it's even happening. So if I get it, if I figure it out in the moment, that's only happened to me one time. And I literally started laughing. Like I started laughing out loud, and I like looked at my own outfit, and this was like just like peak sad gay for me. Like I had these like men's shorts from like J. Crew with like like probably some little animal prints on them, and like I had Crocs on, and like also probably like a men's like
Nantucket
polo
Reds
style. Yeah, like just like really weird combination, horrible hair, horrible eyebrows, just like the gayest that I've ever looked, like in a bad way. And he was hitting on me, and I just started laughing, and I like looked down at myself. Like I literally checked to see if it was me in the outfit that I thought I would
see what I see.
I was
a
just
lesbian.
like I was like, and he ended up, I tried to tell him that I was not. I remember trying to get those words out, but he just ended up writing his number and his name down on a piece of paper, and he handed it to me, and I just like took it, and I was like, all right, I guess bye. Like yeah. Luca.
Shout out to Luca.
Luca.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it way easier to have girls be attracted to me than boys. Even if I like boys, but like boys on the internet that find us attractive, I find scary.
Oh yeah, when men comment on my, I mean, that's just, I'm also just like, what? Why? Like, why? What are you getting out of this?
What do you want?
Yeah. I do think there's something about men who are attracted to lesbians / like women with masculine energy. They're interesting. They're interesting men.
I think they're better.
I like them
do too.
Yeah, Jacob and I I've said this before, but Jacob and I have the same celebrity crushes, Ellen Page and Carrie Brownstein. And
amazing.
That overlap is pretty great.
Yeah, I respect Ben for dating a woman with like an androgynous face a lot of the times. 'Cause like, yeah, I look cute with makeup, but without it, it's like, that's a Malfoy. That's a boy Malfoy.
You've got good bone structure. I mean, like, I guess I have a man face too.
Yeah. And so anybody who would be into you has great taste. Okay, Ashley, we already have your first time coming story in the episode last season. So if
oh my
you guys
God, did we
hear
talk about that?
I think we did.
Oh, I feel like
Didn't
no
we?
recollection.
I don't either, but I ask everybody.
I'm sure I answered.
So I'm sure it was on there, yeah. But Gara, I don't have your first time coming story on the record. Can you tell everybody how that went down? How old were you? What was going on?
I'm really proud of my first coming story. It's a very good one. And I was 17. And it was the summer of when I was 17, which at the end of that summer, I kind of did that like end of a movie thing where I looked back at the summer and went, man, what a crazy summer. Like, really kind of like rode my bike like into the sunset, and the narrator was like, Gara Lonning then died 3 years later. No, it was great. And that whole summer was like hooking up with one of my friends. I'll just call her Meredith, which is the only name that's coming to my mind. I was hooking up with my friend Meredith, who was dating my best friend Paul. Paul's name I don't make up. He's in multiple podcasts. He's just this figure that.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, Paul. He's gonna love this. Okay, so I was hooking up with his girlfriend Meredith. They were open, and we were directing a play that year, and we'd hooked up once at Paul's house, and then finally we wanted to hook up one night. We were like, we don't know where to go, so we ended up driving to our community theater and using our keys that we had as directors, and we went to the costume shop, and I laid down like t-shirt on, Pooh Bear in it, if you will.
Yes.
Laying on this like cold, like frigid. I can still remember how cold my ass was on this ground. It's like dirty ground. Also, if anyone from back home hears this, just keep it to yourself. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I was laying on the costume shop floor, and I remember like looking up. And the times we had hooked up, I wouldn't let her make me come. I just would like freak out and just be like, no. I had hooked up with people before that, but Meredith was the first girl I had ever hooked up with. And I'm like lying on this ground, and she's going down on me. We never kiss. I never did anything to her, and she was going down on me. And I just remember looking up at this bright light and just like coming so hard.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I was like, kind of like hopped up, put my pants on. I was like, that was awesome.
Do you remember any specific technique, or it was just like?
Yeah, I was about to ask.
I think at that point I had been with guys who were just so bad at it. I mean, I don't know. Not obviously, but like she was just so good. She had hooked up with like so many people, including my friend Paul, and like I guess just hung up top. I don't know. That's just like all I needed. Yeah.
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 And consistency.
Definitely. It was like 2 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I came in like 2 minutes. Yeah.
That is something I will say about the bad head that I've gotten from guys who even seem like they're trying very hard, is that they just change it up way too often. Like, so they'll like go from the top to like sucking to like licking your thighs or whatever, and you're like, wait, just wait, like on one thing.
This probably will sound bad, but like I just use the same standard approach to like every woman going in, like just it's but just like literally like a metronome in my head, and like if that usually eventually they, you know what I mean, like it doesn't typically.
What is the standard approach?
Like I literally just like lick like a broad flat tongue.
Yep.
Just like up bottom from the base of the clit up. Like
they don't know about the broad flat tongue either.
They don't know about that?
They don't know about it.
Broad flat tongue is pretty great.
Yeah.
That's not what people start with. That's what I have never thought to do it any other way.
Guys do it like that, like pointy, right, Gara?
Oh, I mean,
who the fuck is pointing a tongue
like
at a clit?
very like la, 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 because that's what they see.
Oh,
Like that as like the motion, I
Though
guess.
I will say my boyfriend now, I've never had this good of head ever. I don't know what it is.
I don't hate on Jacob, okay?
He's different.
But like once you start learning a partner, then you can like throw in some variation that you know that they're. But like as
Ashley, you gotta teach a class.
Yeah.
You gotta help these guys. These poor guys.
I'm that good. Oh, for men.
It's like Dead Poets Society. You're like Robin Williams.
Thank you. R.I.P. But
is that the one where it's like it's not your fault?
No, that's Good Will Hunting.
Oh, okay.
You could be that too. You could be that Robin Williams as well.
It is your fault that she's not coming.
It is your fault.
Flat tongue. It is.
But I just don't understand. Like. Whatever. But I don't know where that comes. They don't have
a pussy, so they don't know what it feels like, I guess. And
but even the first time I went down on someone, that was like I made a lot of mistakes that time, but like that was not one of the mistakes that I made.
What were the mistakes?
I don't know how I knew. Oh, I just rather than just like keeping my mouth open, I rested my top teeth.
Oh yeah, you talked about this. Yeah.
So kind of like that. And
it's like when a kid is trying to drink a Gatorade bottle by
God.
putting the whole cap in. Like,
yes. And like I did the motion. I think I did the motion correctly. I just don't know why I thought that I needed to rest, that I wouldn't have the neck strength to like keep my head.
Sure, yeah.
You need a neck hammock.
I redeemed myself. Yeah, exactly. I redeemed myself though with that girl. I did. So
good.
Years later.
Can I be honest though? I do think though, like the times that I've been bad at going down on people with vaginas, I feel like I've taken the feedback and been like, okay, I'll learn from this. I feel like sometimes when I've given men feedback, unfortunately, cis men feedback, it's kind of been like they don't take the
deafest of ears.
Yep, they don't take that note.
Oh, so that was one TikTok I made that like semi blew up, and they took it down because for like adult nudity, and I like wasn't nude at all, but it was about giving tips during head and how people don't take them and just keep doing what they've done for other people because they're like, oh, I just assume this works. And I feel like more often than not that happened to me with like straight guys, not with bi guys. Bi guys are great at head.
I've dated this woman who like really needs you to go side to side. Like that's like the best way for her. And she's the only person that I've ever gone down on who like had that be true. But like, she only had to tell me that like one time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like I was like, okay.
Yeah. Great. I don't know why womb havers seem to take it more serious.
That's so funny.
We usually say vulva havers, but womb havers is like it's the thing now. Yeah, I don't know why we seem to take like direction better, and why they just take it as like rhetorical.
Do you think they're hearing it?
I
know that sounds weird, but like, do you think at what point in the information processing journey do we think they don't like? Are they not thinking when they go down there? Like, oh, I'm not taking, you know what I mean? Like, when does the ignoring start?
I think when you start dating them. I don't know. All the guys who have been bad at taking critiques are like bad at taking critiques with everything. Like if I was like, oh, you missed your turn. He's like, no, I didn't. I was actually planning on going this way. So you were wrong. And it's like, wow, should have called this one earlier.
It's just like who they are in every aspect of life.
Yeah.
And I do think women are like kind of trained to, any kind of womb haver is trained to be more like, what's it called, coddling and like or malleable. Like we're just given directions a lot.
Totally. I think though also like over time, like being kind of like having a bad reaction from someone, like even like from my dad or even like from other men in my life of like being told
every
something they don't take
every
it well.
time my dad went down on me, I'm sorry, I could not do it.
Never no, you're fine. I knew it was coming.
But like, yeah, I think you're just trained over time, like living with men like that. Because I will say, it's not all men.
No, and it's definitely not. And that's like the toxic men always ruin everything for the good men too. But yeah, if you have a man in your life where people are just like, yep, that's just the way he is. Or whatever,
right.
it's like,
right. Yeah. It's people being complacent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Midwest, it's like anxiety. Like they'll say like, oh, he's just anxious. It's like, no, he actually
like, go to therapy.
Sucks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. This has been a blast. I feel like I just love you more and more every day.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
The feeling is mutual.
Yeah, same.
Thanks, guys. Can you tell all of our listeners where they can find you online and then where they could find your podcast? Ashley, go first.
Our podcast is We're Having Gay Sex. It's on all of the things. We only have our individual handles. I'm Ashgavs on everything, and I'm Ashgavs Comedy on TikTok.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gara?
And I'm just at Gara on Instagram. Just start typing Garara. Someone told me the other day it wasn't actually that hard to find, so
yeah, it's not hard to find.
Amazing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of hard to find, you guys, we're going to be doing an overhaul. How come is becoming how apostrophe so that you might be able to find us or asterisk, not apostrophe, on iTunes because we're sick of being losers. We want you to find us. And
wow.
Yeah, we're going to
I've thought about that too.
Yeah. What are you going to bleep out?
The
sex?
The E in sex, I think, would be.
Wow, that's so nuts.
I know, it's annoying. But yeah, if you see our artwork changing, woohoo! We're how now. And we hope you can support us still. You guys, this has been so wonderful. I just have to ask you both, because I have to ask everybody this after a sexual experience, because this has been a sexual experience.
Yeah.
Ashley, Gara, did you finish?
I don't know if you guys noticed. I got hit with a wave of serious tired. Serious tired.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I'm just tired. I gotta roll over and sleep this off.
But it's because you came so much?
No, Remy, I didn't. I'm tired. Don't try.
Is there anything I can do?
It's not you. It's me. I obviously the cat started meowing at 8 a.m. this morning for food, and I had a late night last night. And look, I love doing podcasts with you, but like not every time.
Not anymore.
I'm not gonna. No, we can try again tomorrow. But like I need to get a better night's sleep.
Okay, let's try again at your place next time.
Okay.
On We're Having Gay Sex. No,
sounds good.
We'll try again another time. And maybe, hey, you guys, if people have questions for you, can we have you back on the Patreon maybe?
I would love to do that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Then we'll try and finish there. But Gara, did you finish?
I finished within like the first 3 minutes, and it's kind of just been like a steady stream of coming this whole time.
I like to hear.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You guys, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you. This is great. Why are you laughing?
You,
I'm trying to think of a joke. I'm like genuinely slow. Like I don't know what happened, but sometime like 15-20 minutes in, I was like, oh, I'm
the
tired.
editing is gonna make this podcast like so zippy.
Yeah,
I know.
You don't
I'm
have
sorry
to be
I didn't bring
smart
my A
anymore.
game.
I didn't either.
No, I thought this was great.
I think it was fine.
No, I thought this was awesome.
This is what Gara always says. I'm like, oh, I wasn't that good, and then Gara's like, you were great.
Yeah, that's our dynamic too. Is I'm always like, this was horrible, and Robin's like, just fucking edit the thing.
Not
Wow.
it. That is not it.
I love having Robin in here. It's honestly like truly great to kind of like look over at someone just like smiling the whole time
and laughing at your bits.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh, that was
funny.
Can
we
I
need
take
one
these
of
off?
those.
Yes,
she's like
you can.
instead of a youth in the booth, she's like a kindergarten teacher in the corner that's just like smiling and being like, "You're doing great.
Yeah,
You're doing great."
I love it.
All right, guys, thank you for coming, and we will see you next time on How Come. Goodbye. Say goodbye. You can't
Bye.
Bye.
No, but say it cheerfully.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, yay.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help. 'Cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna just